Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishnaha Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutihi Dhruva Nitirmatir Mama Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva tena gantavyam Brahma karma samadhina. Okay, so today we begin the third adhyaya, which is Karma Yoga, and first we will recite from first to the 10th shlokas. Please repeat after me. Arjuna Uvacha Jayasi
Arjuna Uvacha.
Karan. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tatkim Karmani Ghore Mam
Tatkim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi Keshava
Niyojayasi keshava.
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardana
Jayasi chet karmanaste. Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tatkim Karmani Ghore Mam Niyojayasi Keshava
Tatkim karmani ghore mam. Niyojayasi keshava.
ज्यायसि चेत् कर्मणस्ते मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन तत्किं कर्मणि घोरे मां नियोजयसि केशव.
Jayasi chet karmanaste. Mata buddhir janardhana. Tatkim karmani ghore mam. Niyojayasi keshava.
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
Tadekam vada nischitya.
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्.
Yena shreyo hamapnuyam.
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
Vyamishreneva vakyena. Buddhim mohayashiva me.
मोहयसीव मे.
Mohayasiva me.
स श नास्ति स मोहयसीव मे
Mohayasiva me. Okay.
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्.
Tada ekam vada nischitya. Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्.
Vyamishreneva vakyena. Buddhim mohayasiva me. Tad ekam vada nischitya. Yena shreyohamapnuyam.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha.
लोकेऽस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा
Lokeshmin vividha nishtha.
पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ
Pura prokta maya nagha.
ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानां
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्.
Karma yogena yoginam.
Just a minute. Because I shared a new link in the last minute. I'm just checking in case
Yes,
anyone has.
to check if somebody else. Yeah. It's possible.
Okay. Shri Bhagavanuvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Lokesmin vividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha
लोकेऽस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ
Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam
ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्
Lokesmin vividha nishtha pura prokta maya nagha Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam
लोकेऽस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्
न कर्मणामनारम्भात्
न कर्मणाम् अनारम्भान्
नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
नैष्कर्म्यम् पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न च सन्न्यसनादेव
न च सन्न्यसनादेव
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
so anarambhat becomes anarambhan, so either way is fine. न
अच्छा, when you
कर्मणामनारम्भात् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न कर्मणाम् अनार्भनात् नैष्कर्म्यम् पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न कर्मणामनारम्भान् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न कर्मणामनारम्भान् नैष्कर्म्यम् पुरुषोऽश्नुते
न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न कर्मणामनारम्भान् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न कर्मणामनारम्भान् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते न च सन्न्यासनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म
सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
सर्वप्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत्
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वप्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वप्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्या महाप्राण मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन्
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचरः मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते. So when visarga is followed by sa, we pronounce it as a double sa. मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते.
मिथ्यासारश्च उच्यते
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचरश्च उच्यते
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्यासारश्च उच्यते
चार मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्याचारश्च उच्यते मिथ्याचार
मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
मिथ्यासारश्च उच्यते
चार मिथ्याचार
charasa and the
मिथ्याचार
first one,
स उच्यते
mityasara it's coming out as cha, yeah, but it is, yeah,
No,
it
cha
is
is cha. Cha
yeah,
doesn't change. Mityachara sa uchyate.
yeah, mityacharasa uchyate
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारस्य उच्यते
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा
नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम्
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
असक्तः स विशिष्यते
असक्तः स विशिष्यते
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
यस्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्य भरतेऽर्जुन
नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
यम्यारभतेऽर्जुन
कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते
यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते
यस्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यरभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वम्
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वम्
कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
शरीरयात्रापि च ते
शरीरयात्रापि च ते
न प्रसिद्ध्येत् अकर्मणः
न प्रसिद्धयेत् अकर्मणः
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः
शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येत कर्मणः
शरीरयात्रापि चेत् yatrapi च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येत् अकर्मणः
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः
नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येत् अकर्मणः
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
सह यज्ञाः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
स यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम्
अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम्
येषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
एषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
सह यज्ञाः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
स यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् येषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् एषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
सह यज्ञाः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् येषवोस्त्विष्टकामधुक्
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन विश्वध्वम् एषवोस्तिष्ठकामधुक्
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, obviously, we're joining back again a bit of a gap. So, we've left off at the end of, we finished second adhyaya, which was Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is possibly one of the most important lessons that we can learn from Bhagavad-gita. It has two very important concepts that it teaches. One is obviously the Sankhya Darshana related knowledge, which is about Atma Vidya, the knowledge of Atman and the mechanics of it. How do we understand it and how do we work with it? How do we work with it and also understand what is not Atma and how do we use our various tools that we have in existence, as in mind, body, senses, intellect. All these are the tools to be utilized. So Sankhya Darshana gives us a very, I would say the fundamentals of spirituality are taught in that. If we don't understand the concept of Atma, everything basically does not make any sense at all. So that is the foundational knowledge, because Atma in itself being immortal, Atma in itself having no birth, no death, and no vikara, avikara, it does not have any transformations. It cannot be altered, deleted, cut into pieces, whatnot. Neither is it a karta. It is not a doer. So and triguna rahita. It is not made of any building material that is utilized in the creation, and neither does it build anything from it. So these are the various unique features that we understand of Atma, that is actually taught in various shlokas. And then we are introduced to the concept of karma yoga through the nishkama karma. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhuhu mate sangostva karmani. And thereafter we get to understand how does it operate. And once once the knowledge is delivered, Arjuna asks a very important question: who is a sthita prajna? He asks. And because he understood that somebody who practices nishkama karma, a concept where the duties are to be done without any expectation of a result, and also with the understanding that I am not the one who had created this particular work. It is something which is to be done by me at that particular point of time, and I just have to get on with it and do it. That's it. So I have no actual kind of attachment in any form at all. Now, if that is the case, understandably, it leads to a state of emotional equipoise, and I am not perturbed by either defeats, nor am I easily too excited with victories. I treat them all the same. So Arjuna wants to understand what sthita prajnata is. So he asks the question: sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. And wonderfully, Krishna then talks about sthita prajnata. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyeva atmanatushtaha sthita prajnah tatha uchyate. Atmanieva atmanatushtaha. See, at the end of the day, you are the one who has to help yourself. It is very clearly kind of explained at various points of time that nobody is going to come to kind of do service for you. You have to do it all yourself. And it is so Bhagavad-gita can be the biggest kind of lesson of empowerment, empowering oneself, inspiring oneself, and so on. So prajahati yada kaman, one who actually lets go of the desires, sarvan kaman, all the desires, and then atmani eva atmana tushtaha, the one who is able to inspire himself, work upon himself to be content with who he is and where he is at that point of time. And that contentment is the result of the process being nishkama karma. When you practice it, when you also understand that you are the Atman, a lot of things fall in place. At the end of the day, I'm actually in this world very confused at various points of time, concerned about various things, lots of anxieties that I may develop ill health, I may be dead, or I may lose a fortune, or I may, people have all sorts of fears. And let's take the example of ill health and what is going to happen to my family after I am dead. All these things can be put into perspective when you understand the very idea that you are constant. And when you are constant, for instance, when you are actually taking birth after birth, that is one way to accept, maybe answer yourself that, well, I'll meet my family again. They're not going to go anywhere. So I'll be meeting the family again. Or on the other hand, if if they feel that health is causing a lot of anxiety and illness is Then as well, the understanding that I am the Atman, I am not perishable, it is the body which is perishable, that gives me the required understanding and resolves my anxiety about that as well. So naturally, when you have the required understanding, the jnana, your emotions are going to be put in the right place. And that is the way we should understand the concept of sthita prajnata. And so I would say, yeah, so those are the three important lessons we have learned from the second chapter, which is the Sankhya Yoga. Now, Karma Yoga is the name of the third chapter. To begin with, Arjuna asks a question. Now, Arjuna is not only a very obedient student, but he is also very inquisitive. He is also somebody who is possibly you can describe the best recipient of knowledge or the best student. Despite being in a very emotionally destroyed state of mind, he is very anxious, he is very depressed, and he's thrown away his bow aside and was sitting. He was basically displaying a tantrum there. It's like a kid, and he's displaying a tantrum. And for somebody like that, Krishna had given all the required knowledge, and Arjuna was able to receive that knowledge. And now he is asking a very important question. At some point in Sankhya Darshana, Sankhya Yoga, in the second chapter, he possibly perceived that Jnana Yoga, the knowledge of Atman and the understanding of it and working around it, is better than Karma Yoga. This is possibly how he understood it. And so therefore he is asking this question: Jyayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. So as we normally do, we will split the words. Jyayasi chet karmanaha te mata buddhihi janardhana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. So as some of you are actually learning Sanskrit anyway, so this should hopefully give you some exciting opportunity to be hooked to and pick up whatever is familiar for you. So Keshava, so that is the vocative case. So hey Keshava, hey friend. I mean, that's the vocative case. So hey Keshava, oh Krishna. Then we look at the verb. Niyojayasi is the verb. Niyojayasi, you are basically appointing me. You're appointing me. Mam niyojayasi. Mam is me. Niyojayasi, you're appointing me. But here, tvam means you, which is not there in the shloka, so we add it. It is inferred because for niyojayasi, that particular verb can only go along with the subject form tvam, which is you. So, tvam mam niyojayasi, you are appointing me where ghore karmani, where ghore karmani means in very cruel kind of job, in a cruel kind of a job or a very difficult job. Why tatkim? Why are you appointing me in this very difficult, distraught, distressing job of fighting my cousins? When you know, okay, when you know, now it comes. Mata buddhihi, Hey Janardana, hey Krishna, Mata, your wisdom, your thought, your opinion, Mata, your opinion is that Buddhihi Karmanaha Jayasi. Your opinion is that Buddhi Yoga or the Jnana Yoga or the knowledge part of this spiritual pursuit is better than the karma or the action path of spiritual pursuit. If that is the case, why are you making me do something which is not desirable? So that's a valid question. He's basically saying, you know that that is not the best. The better of the two is the knowledge part. And if that is the case, why are you making me go through this kind of difficult task of being a warrior and attacking my own people and so on? Okay. व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्. व्यामिश्रेण इव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसि इव मे तत् एकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयः aham apnuyam. That is the split up again. Earlier we learnt tvam. Tvam means you in Sanskrit. Aham means I in Sanskrit. So we have aham written here. Shreyah aham apnuyam. Aham apnuyam. I will obtain. I will obtain. Aham Shreyah apnuyam. I will obtain Shreya, which would be a desirable result, let us say, a desirable result. Through what? Yena. Through what can I achieve that good result or a desirable result? Tat ekam vada nishchitya. Nishchitya, clearly, no ambiguity. I'm not interested in ambiguous whataboutery. Very clear. I want a very clear answer from you. Earlier to that, he talks about the confusion. So here this line, the second line is Ekam vada nishchitya. You only tell me one thing. Tvam vada. You tell me. Here we have to add tvam again. Nishchitya, very clearly, through which aham Shreyah apnuyam. I will get a desirable result or an outcome. Earlier line is Vyamishrena iva vakyena. Through sentences which are very confusing, muddling. Mama buddhihi, mama buddhim mohayasi. Iva tvam mama buddhim mohayasi. You are actually confusing me with your words, is as clearly as Arjuna is taunting Krishna. Now we talk about freedom of speech nowadays, yeah. And when we talk about freedom of speech, between a teacher and a student, if there is ego in between those two, then Krishna would clearly be hurt. Second thing is, Krishna may also think that this guy is an undeserving student, I'm not going to teach him. But Krishna displays utmost kind of patience in dealing with, let us call Arjuna at this point of time, possibly an arrogant student, possibly a confused student, or even possibly a a student who is actually testing Krishna's own concepts. If a teacher is being tested on their concepts, if truth has to be told and truth prevails, and the teacher actually kind of worships truth, they will not fear. So here clearly Arjuna is taunting, saying, you are confusing me with your words. I'm not interested in all that. You tell me very clearly what is good for me, full stop. Okay. And now Sri Krishna opens up. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Lokesmin Dvividha Nishta Pura Prokta Maya Nagha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Loke Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Uvacha means spoke. Shri Bhagavan Krishna. Loke Asmin Dvividha Nishta Pura Prokta Maya Anagha Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. Okay. Prokta is the verb. Prokta is the verb, but this is in a passive case. Earlier we were seeing active case, active voice. Here it is passive voice. How do we know that? Maya, by me. Maya means by me. Aham means me. But when it becomes done by me, I become instrumental, I become Maya. So Maya Prokta. It has been told, it has been conveyed, it has been told by me. Hey Anagha, oh Arjuna. The Anagha is one who does not do any papa, no sins. Hey Anagha, Maya Prokta Pura. When? Pura. In ancient times. In ancient times, this has been told by me. What was told? Dvividha Nishtha. Dvividha Nishtha. Two types, two methods have been told. When? Pura. Long time back. Where? Asmin Loke. In this world. In this world. So clearly, when he says Asmin Loke, we have to relate to the Bhuloka, Manushya Loka, among the people. So it is not among Devatas or so on. So not celestial beings. It is among these people. And what did he teach? Sankhyanam Jnana Yogena, Yoginam Karma Yogena. So for those who are in intellectual pursuit of spiritual knowledge or in intellectual method of spiritual practice, for them it was the Jnana Yoga, knowledge path. For those who are keen on or whose temperament suits doing things, for them I have taught the yoga of action. So I've already taught two different paths. Na karmana manarambhat naishkarmyam purushošnute na cha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. Na karmanam anarambhat na naishkarmyam Purushaha ashnute na cha sanyasanat eva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Samadhi gacchati is the verb. Samadhi gacchati. Adhigacchati. Adhigacchati would be verb, but samadhi gacchati is the verb. Yeah. going somewhere. It is going somewhere. What? We'll have a look. Purushaha samadhigacchati. Purusha is to be understood as the Atman. Purusha is the Atman. Loosely translated, it is a person. But in a spiritual context, Purusha would be the Atman, the soul. Okay. Purushaha ashnute also. Ashnute is also a verb. So let us look at it. Na karmanam anarambhat. Anarambha. Arambha is beginning. Anarambhat, not beginning. Just by not doing karma, karmanam anarambhat, just by not doing any duties, just because of that, naishkarmyam na ashnute purushaha. Nishkama. We earlier understood the concept of nishkama karma, selfless duty, not attaching ourselves to the fruits of action and so on. Now I understood the concept. Now I want to be devious. I was devious as in lazy. I say to people, oh, if I do those things, I'll attach more fruit to my actions. I'm not doing it. For everything, I'm just rejecting all the duties that actually have to be done. So he's giving a warning. Just by you saying that, oh, I'm not going to do these things because I'm going to attract the fruit of the actions, therefore you will not, just by doing it, you will not actually kind of mature in the idea of nishkama karma. So you're a gone case. Similarly, nacha sanyasanat eva siddhim samadhigacchati. Siddhim samadhigacchati. Here, siddhim samadhigacchati. Siddhim is the siddhi. Siddhi is basically the evolved state of a yogi. When does he get it? When he is able to detach himself from all the worldly desires, detach himself from attaching his sense organs to the worldly matters around. So that is sannyasa. So that is the sannyasa part. So just by, okay, now I understood the concept, and therefore I tell myself, oh God, there are too many distractions in the world. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top of the mountain, sit in a cave, so that nobody is going to come to me. And just by doing it as well, you are not going to get the siddhi state. You won't be able to evolve. So he's already giving a warning very much in the beginning. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita karyate hyavashah karma sarvah prakriti jairgunaihi. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit karyate hi avashah karma sarvah prakriti jaihi gunaihi. Okay, so that's the breakup. He's giving an explanation for why he said what he said earlier. Akarmakrit tishtati, na tishtati, na tishtati. Kaschit means someone, or in this case, anyone. Someone, kaschit actually means someone. So someone or anyone, kshanam api, even for a second, akarmakrit na tishtati, cannot be sitting without doing any action. And how is an action performed? Manasa kaya indriyaihi. So with mind, with body, or through sense organs, things will be, or even walk by saying also. So when you say to yourself, my actions are only counted when I physically move my body. That is wrong. Your actions are counted as per karma philosophy, even when you are thinking or when you are uttering some things. So all those are actions. So then how is it possible for anybody to sit still even for a second without doing any actions? It is not possible. Hence, do not even entertain the idea. So he's giving explanation for the earlier part, right? Do not even entertain the idea that, oh, in that case, I'm not going to do anything so that I can develop nishkama karma. It won't work like that. So in a sense, what we are already learning is, in this world, you are, imagine there is a huge lake there and you've been thrown into it. You have to swim, that's it. So, and you need to find your way. But there are rules of the game. Here, karma is the rules of the game. Dharma is the rules of the game. So if you use the dharma and understand the whole exercise of karma, you are going to gradually make progress. I won't say win, you make progress gradually, and you will be given better chances. Next time, maybe you'll be put in a smaller lake, and gradually you'll be put in a bathtub where you are very much in control of yourself. You don't need to worry about swimming anymore. So that is how life after life, progress gives you better opportunities to reach the ultimate goal of moksha. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha is what we will come across in one of the adhyayas much later. Very clearly in that it says Bahunam janmanam ante. After many lives, jnanavan mam prapadyate. A jnani, just by obtaining knowledge in this life alone, don't expect that doors for moksha are going to just open like that. It may not happen so immediately. So it may still take a lot of lives. But what happens is, Krishna guarantees that your time is not wasted. All your efforts are very much counted. And this will only lead you to have a better life the next time round. So he gives the guarantee. So nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatushtati akarmakrit. So nobody can sit idle without doing anything, even for a second. Karyatehi avashaha karma sarvaha prakritijayihi gunaihi. All these deeds that have to be done, the duties that have to be done, they are born out of the swabhava, the very mechanics of how the world functions. The creation has all the ingredients that allow it to influence your position in your life at this point of time, because your chip is already kind of encrypted with all the works that you have done in your past lives. And therefore, the Prakriti, the whole creation is working with you, or whether you call it working against you. No, it's not working against you, but it is working with you. Only problem is you didn't realize it, and you keep doing the wrong thing one after the other, and therefore you feel that the Prakriti is actually working against you. How it is inferred as a Satan, for instance. It is actually perhaps not a great way to respect Prakriti. Prakriti is not satanic. Prakriti is what it is. It is beautiful, but it is a design which is there to help you. Aren't the fruits there to help you eat? Aren't the grains there for you to cook and eat? Aren't the mountains there to, when you are stressed, you look at it and you feel relaxed? You use it. There are ways to utilize it for your own benefit. But because you misuse it, or you don't use it, or you indulge in something, you then find fault with it. That is not right. So, Prakriti Jaihi Gunaihi. Gunas are three: Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunaha. So, by these three gunas, by the Prakriti, you are actually bound to do all your actions. Sarvaha. All your actions are to be done by you, by everyone, basically. So that is how it is to be understood. Karmendriyani संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इंद्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारस्य उच्यते. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य यः आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इंद्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः सः उच्यते. So here we are adding the visarga after ya and sa. So it is yaha saha. Yaha means who, saha means he. One who is so and so, he is that. So that is how it works. Okay. Yaha Bhagavadgita pathayati saha Srinivasaha. The one who is teaching Bhagavad-gita, he is Srinivasa. So that is that yaha saha. So karmendriyani sanyamya yaha aste. Now there's some guy. What has he done? He's nicely kind of understood the concept again and brought his indriyas under control. He's not performing the actions, he's able to put a limit to it. But his desire hasn't gone away. Manasa smaran. So he's basically fooling himself. So what is he doing? He's understood the concept, but he's trying his best, I guess, to limit himself. He doesn't want to indulge in acting on those. But his desires are running in his mind. Manasa smaran. That person is a vimudhatma. He is a murkha. He is a fool. Okay. So indriyarthan manasa smaran. So indriya artha. Indriya means the sense organs. Artha means the information, whatever is out there, that is artha. That what is to be perceived, the subject that needs to be perceived is artha, and the one which is perceiving it is the indriya, or the senses. So manasa smaran, manasa indriyarthan smaran. So this guy is happily thinking of all these desires, whether it is kama, krodha, whatever it is, and thinking to himself that, oh, I'm actually refraining myself from acting on them. So he is nobody but a fool. Mithyacharaha. He is kind of dubious in his knowledge. Saha uchyate. So that is again another fallacy he is trying to kind of educate. Yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhate arjuna karmendriyaih karma yogam asaktasya visishyate. Yahatu indriyani manasa niyamya arabhate arjuna karmendriyaihi karma yogam asaktaha saha vishishyate. Again we have yaha saha. So earlier it was about a guy who was fooling himself. Here now we are actually seeing somebody who is able to do it better. So what is he doing? This time he is applied his own mind to bring control on his application of these sense organs. Earlier, he couldn't do it. He basically was pretending as if he was in control. Here now, he's actually done the job of being able to control it, restrain his sense organs. Niyamya, having niyamya. So, yaha indriyani manasa niyamya, okay, karma yogam arabhate. Karma yogam कर्मेन्द्रियैः आरभते सः असक्तः इति विशिष्यते. So that is how it goes. Yaha, whoever, tu indriyani manasa niyamya, having restrained his senses, applying his mind, karmendriyaihi, with his action oriented senses. So we have two types of senses that we need to know here, right? Jnanendriyani, karmendriyani. Jnanendriya are 5, which are most easily understood. They are eye, nose, ear, tongue, and skin. Chakshu, grana, nasika, karna, tvak. Then you have 5 action-oriented sense organs. So you can say the recipients are the 5 earlier that I have mentioned. And these 5 are actions. So you can say information is received, processed by mind, intellect takes the decision, acted upon by these 5 action-oriented senses. What are they? They are vak, speech, pani, hand, pada, feet, payu, upastha. Payu, upastha are genitalia and excretory organs. So those 5 are the action-oriented indriyas or the senses. So this guy, he is now able to use those in performing or initiating arabhate, initiating karma yogam. What is the result? Because he has learnt the art of controlling the sense organs using his mind. They are all in unison. They're all in unison. So this is what we can call as trikarana shuddhi. They're all in unison. Or the mind, body, and speech, everything works together. They don't mean different things. Therefore, he becomes asaktaha. He is no more interested in any other worldly matters. He is only now capable of performing duties to perfection. And even though he's initiating actions, he is not going to be troubled by the consequences, whether they're favorable or not favorable. Therefore, he says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hya karmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasidyet akarmanaha. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jyayaha hi akarmanaha sharira yatra api cha te na prasidyet akarmanaha. We see tvam again here. Tvam means you. So you learned a few things today. You learned about tvam, you learned about aham, you learned about yaha, you learned about saha. Some Sanskrit lessons also going on. So tvam karma kuru. Tvam kuru. Kuru is the verb. Do. You do. It's an instruction. It's an instruction. It can also be a request. So here you can, whether you want to consider Arjuna is Krishna is pleading Arjuna, please do, or he's saying you do. Whichever way you look at it, Tvam kuru, please do, you do. What? Karma. When? Always. Niyatam. Tvam niyatam karma kuru. Why? He says, akarmanaha hi jyayah karma. Because compared to not doing actions is a better deal. So if we are faced with, this is an important lesson. So if we are faced with a moral dilemma, an ethical dilemma, doing and not doing, Krishna says doing is a better task rather than not doing, like a bystander effect. Now I keep saying this thing, by doing things which are not popular but right, according to you, you may lose out on this material world. You may lose friends, you may lose money, you may lose a lot that you have gained so far in this material world, but you will never lose in your spiritual world. You'll always make gains there. This is again where knowledge of me being the Atman and the eternal nature of it and the Punarjanma concept helps you understand it better, put things into perspective. Because you may ask a question, what's the point? If I'm losing everything, I'm losing fame, I'm losing money, I'm losing people around me, I'm being turned into an enemy just because of pointed out the right thing. Why should I do it? Because I'm losing everything. But that losing is nothing but your losses in material world. Your spiritual, you're always going to gain spiritually. So there's no need to worry about it. So when you're faced with a moral dilemma, doing is always better than not doing. Sharira yatra api cha te means tava, your. You know why doing things is better than not doing? He says, even the kind of things that you have to do with your body, if you consider that not doing is better than doing, your bodily functions also will stop. Bodily functions won't stop. They carry on acting. And it possibly expects you to take care of it. It asks you to take care of various things. It asks you to eat. It asks you to procreate, create the next generation. Are you going to stop all that just because you're going to get attached to the next phala of it? It is for you to deal with what's going to come next. That is the whole game here. It's a spiritual game. And your part is to play the game according to the rules of karma and dharma. So therefore, even the bodily functions are not going to stop. They will continue. So therefore, akarma is definitely not desirable. Yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara. We'll do 9 and 10 and we'll stop at 10. Yajñarthat karmanaha anyatra lokaha ayam karma bandhanaha tat artham tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangaha samachara. Samachara is the verb or kriya padam. Again, tvam samachara, you conduct yourself, you perform rightly, properly. Samachara means properly conduct yourself, tvam. How? Mukta Sangaha. You are Mukta Sangaha. Sangha means attachment. Mukta Sangaha means detachment. So, Tvam Mukta Sangaha Samachara. You become detached and you perform righteously. He Kaunteya. Oh Arjuna. What do you perform? Karma. So, Tvam Karma. Tvam Mukta Sangaha Karma Samachara. For what purpose? Kimartham tadartham. So for that reason, tadartham means for that reason. For that reason, He Kaunteya, He Arjuna, Tvam, you, Mukta Sangaha, being detached, Karma Samachara, conduct your actions. For what reason again? We'll have to look at the sentence above. Yajnarthat karmanaha. He is now introducing the concept of yajna. We will talk about it next time round. It will be covered. Yajna is steadfast practice where you possibly repeatedly do it. It should become your second nature, becomes automatic action, and therefore you can call it a ritual. But it could be a ritual of yajna as in a havan. It could be yajna of helping people. It could be a yajna of watering plants every day. It could be yajna of picking up the plastic lying on the floor. On the streets. It could be anything. It could be. It is basically a deed which has to be done with utmost respect and mutual symbiotic relation between myself and the beings around. We will talk about it, as I said, in the next session. So that is what yajna is. For that purpose, karma has to be done. Now we can understand what kind of karma is to be conducted. Anyatra, elsewhere, ayam lokaha, this world, karma bandhanaha, is actually full of, let's say, traps where you get attached doing a lot of work, a lot of deeds. So you have duality. So you have one set of duties which are to be done in a proper way, and that not only is desirable for the existence of the world and nurturing of the world, it is also helpful for you spiritually to grow. There is other set of duties, not duties, but work or actions, let's call it actions, which end up getting you stuck into this cyclical nature of this world. Hence, tadartham, hence, Mukta Sangaha Karma Samachara Kaunteya. Hence, therefore, do perform actions without attachment, because that is a trap. So you don't want to be trapped, and hence you do it in a way you are basically going to yield, basically going to bring in the betterment of the world, as I said, nurturing the creation and also your own spiritual growth. Okay, we'll stop with the 10th shloka. Saha yajñah praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yeshavostvishta kamadhuko. Saha yajñah prajaha srishtva pura uvacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yesha vaha astu ishta kamadhuko. Ishta kamadhuk. Okay, things get interesting here. Okay, so for the first time, we're going to be hearing about the gods. And one of the god is Prajapatihi. We can call him Brahma. What is this Brahma and what is the Parabrahma? Parabrahma is the universal consciousness. This Brahma is one of the gods who is like us. He has a starting point, he has an ending point. The only thing is his lifespan is much, much, much longer to us. So what did he do? Prajapatihi, the one who had created the people. So he's been assigned the task of doing some of the taking care of some of the responsibilities of conducting, organizing things around in the world. What he did was, and what he said, Uvacha, Prajapatihi Uvacha, he said in the past, Pura, in the ancient times, Prajapatihi Pura Uvacha. Having done what? Srishtva, having created. Having created who? Prajaha, created people. Saha yajnaha, along with yajna. So you understand? Earlier I gave you an understanding of what yajna is. Now you can understand the kind of relation between praja and the yajna. They cannot be separated. So Prajapati Brahma had already previously informed, having created the people along with yajna. It therefore, in one sentence, means that they were both created together for a purpose, not separately to be seen. Anena, with that, prasavishyadvam, yuyam prasavishyadvam is what it was. Yuyam is the kriya padam that is to be used. Yuyam means you all. You all, through yajna, prasavishyadvam, you will be given boons and whatnot. Okay, you will be given boons and so on. Vaha, you all, astu ishtakamadhuk, and you also can desire what is required for your kind of worldly affairs. Now it seems like a contradiction here. On one side, Krishna is educating us not to be desirous. He doesn't want us to be fixated on wants and wishes. But here he says that you can actually kind of desire what you need for your worldly activities. Now that's the catch. Unfortunately, it is a contradiction if you look at it that way. But let's understand it this way. When there is a drought, you pray for rain. That is but natural. And you're not demanding anything unreasonably. It is a demand that the gods have to fulfill. It is their responsibility. It is God's responsibility to give you the rain. You're not unreasonable. When are you unreasonable? It comes in the next shlokas. When you exploit all the resources without paying any respect to the nature and the gods, then you are considered as a thief. Then you are unreasonable. But as long as you are doing everything right, you are very much within your rights to be desirous of wealth, children, rains, grain, all these things. Because at the end of the day, let us say you have the universal, the natural law says that you have to procreate. So therefore you have to get married and you have to have children. And if once you have children, it is your responsibility to feed them. To feed them, you have to have a job. You have to have money. So these are not unreasonable desires. These are very much required as part and parcel. So this is how we need to understand. It's not a contradiction. When you want a Mercedes-Benz, instead of having you can drive the least of the cars, Then basically, and you're praying, please God, give me a nice Mercedes Benz. The latest always has to be on my, what do you call it, outside my house. Everybody has to see it. Going past should think how lucky I am. Naturally, those are all not what we are talking about. But yeah, so okay. But as I said, we will talk about yajna. The next few shlokas are going to be about it, and they're all quite interesting. I'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, you may ask.
I'm sure this doubt everybody will have. What is Swadharma? I mean, I don't know whether it's the right time to ask you, but because we are in this day and age, Varnashrama Dharma doesn't really work in the sense you might be a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or whatever, but you're not doing what you are born into. So, but again, I believe in the Bhagavadgita it says, Lord Krishna says, your birth does not tell you what varna you belong to, or you should. So, how does Swadharma work? I'm a doctor. What should I? If I don't do whatever is stipulated as a Brahmin, you need to do Sandhya Vandana or whatever, all those things. I don't know. I'm just asking you. Maybe it's not the right time to ask you, but yeah.
No, we have already covered Swadharma in second adhyaya, so therefore it is a valid question. There's no doubt about it. Now, I think a lot of times we hear. I mean, I have tried explaining this my way, but time to time there have been people who reminded me that Swadharma pertains to only the Varna Dharma, as you asked about Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmana thing. My take is that even if it is the case, the basics are to be understood. As you said, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. That comes later in another adhyaya. So I have created 4 Varnas. Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam. They were created by me. Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. Based on what? Guna, which is the Sattva Rajas Tamo Gunaha. And according to the karma. So if that is the case, I would simply call it as a temperament and circumstances. Your temperament is guna. Whether if you have more sattva, you have a particular temperament. You have a more rajas, you have more tamas, so you have a particular temperament. And therefore, naturally, according to that, you will decide your life course accordingly. A particular job may suit you, a particular country may suit you. So therefore, I think it is not just about Varna, it is about several ramifications from that. Karma basically decides where you are born, how you are born, how privileged you are in this birth with intelligence abundant, or skills, ill health. Ill health, therefore, let us say, for instance, your health does not permit you to become a soldier. Simply, you are not in that varna anymore, if that is the case. So I would take that varna is only one of the aspects to be understood as part of Swadharma, and it's the most common one we come across. So if you ask a question about what is your varna, I'm not going to say that being a doctor is your varna.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that you being a Brahmana by birth is a Varna, because the definition doesn't actually say by birth. It basically says guna and karma. But you can extrapolate saying, as per karma, you were born in that family that happened to be Brahmana. So circumstances. And circumstances may have decided, your karma may have decided what occupation you're going to take. Your guna is going to decide what occupation you. So that is your jati. So I would definitely kind of say that you need to be the best person to answer what your varna is. I may, let's say for instance, I have understood at several points of time. I'm a Brahmana by birth. And although I have always been interested in spirituality, there's no doubt about it. And surely I've always said that I am in process of becoming a Brahmana. If anybody asked me, I'm in the process of becoming a Brahmana. Various points of time, I realized when I'm just giving this example so we can make better sense of this. When I moved from UK to Singapore and we set up the Samskrita Bharati, I realized my responsibility was leadership. My responsibility was organizing things. And circumstances always meant that I was going to be fulfilling that role and teaching only as much as required, learning as much as is required to organize things together. And it didn't miss me. Even when I returned to India, the same thing kept on happening. Leadership, organizing, leadership, organizing.
I mean, what I actually also wanted to ask, I don't know. I mean, if you listen to discourses of, some Chaganti Koteshwara or somebody, what they say is if you're a Brahmana, if you're a Brahmana, you don't do Sandhya Vandanam, that's it, finished. End of story. Like that, and I would, if you did a survey, how many Brahmins actually do whatever prescribed duties 3 times a day? Who does it? I don't know.
Okay, simple question to ask there is, does a Brahmana born in United States, Africa, an Aboriginal Australian, or other Asian countries, aren't there Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, Kshatriya there as per Chaturvanyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha? Is it only exclusively for India?
Yeah. Should. Yeah.
Obviously not. So there will be a Brahmavit, there will be a Jnani, there will be somebody who is in pursuit of Brahmajnana anywhere across in this world. Is he going to practice Sandhya Vandana? He may practice something else instead.
Yeah.
So I think we unfortunately get stuck with Indian cultural practices and mix it up with Sanatana Dharma. This is my take. Sanatana Dharma, by definition, I'll challenge anybody. By definition, Sanatana Dharma is universal.
Yeah.
It should apply to any person across the world, wherever they are born. If that is the case, the basic principles are to be adhered to. The rest is about we all develop our own unique practices to make things easy for us. Or, as I said, a ritual, a yajna. So you can say Sandhya Vandanam is a yajna.
I mean, can our work not be yajna if you?
Everything can be yajna, but
Everything can
how
be.
truthful are you to that is the question.
Yeah.
So if let us say you did a sankalpa, you basically committed yourself that for the rest of my life I am going to do Sandhya Vandana, and you're just escaping day in and day out. You are fooling yourself.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. Yajna can be anything that you choose. First of all, that is why I keep saying do not commit to anything unless you have the resources, the time, and your temperament suits it. And you will adhere to it for the rest of your life. Only then you should do something, commit to something. So This is how a yajna has to be practiced. Yajna has to be practiced in a steadfast manner without fooling yourself to start with. Fooling others is secondary. Fooling yourself is fooling the God within. That's my understanding.
Yes. So thank you very much.
All right. Anybody else has anything to ask or say? Okay. So we will close for today then. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkhavat bhaved. Om shanti shanti shanti. All right. See you all next Sunday. Namaste.